Good day everyone, this is your teacher Ma'am Adoko, and for our tutorial video today, I will continue to discuss the last part of our topic ratio, rate, and proportion. And this time I will discuss proportion. Let us define first what is proportion. A proportion is a statement that two ratios or rates are equal. Like for example, 1/2 is equal to 3/6. Since we are discussing proportion, we are going to read it as 1 is to 2 as 3 is to 6. Another example, 3 waiters are to 7 tables as 9 waiters are to 21 tables. Now, let me give you an examples. Write each statement as a proportion. So we have two statements. A, 22 is to 6 as 11 is to 3. Letter B, 1,000 administrators is to 8,000 teachers as 1 administrator is to 8 teachers. So we are going to rewrite these statements as a proportion. So either we can write it in fractional notation or in an add notation. So we start with letter A. 22 is to 6 as 11 is to 3. So this proportion states that two ratios are equal. So remember, when we say ratios, the units of measurements are the same. So that's why ratios has no units of measurement. 22 is to 6 as 11 is to 3. We can write it in fractional notation. 22 is to 6 as 11 is to 3. Or in add notation, 22, then we can use the colon. 22 is to 6 as 11 is to 3. Then let's proceed to letter B. 1,000 administrators is to 8,000 teachers as 1 administrator is to 8 teachers. So this proportion states that two rates are equal. So when we say rates, students, it means the unit of measurements are not the same. So for example, in our example, the administrators to teachers. So we will write it in fractional notation. 1,000 administrators is to 8,000 teachers as to 1 administrator to 8 teachers. Take note the word as translate to the equality symbol that is needed to write the statement as a proportion or equation. Now, how to determine whether a proportion are true or false? So, since a proportion is an equation, a proportion can be true or false. A proportion is true if its ratios or rates are equals, and it is false if its ratios or rates are not equal. Okay, so let me give you an example. 2 is to 3 as 4 is to 6. So before we will determine if this proportions is true or false, we will determine first the first term, the second term, the third term, and the fourth term. So our first term is the 2, and then the second term is the 3, and then the third term is the 4, and the fourth term is 6. Okay, so second and third term, the inner terms or the middle terms is our means. And then the first and the fourth term or the outer terms is our extremes. Okay, so how to determine if the proportion or if this statement is true or false? We will multiply the second and the third term. We will multiply the inner term. So 3 times 4 is equals to 12. And then the first term and the fourth term, we will multiply it. 2 times 6 is also equals to 12. So this proportion is true. Or there is also another way to determine if the proportions are true or false. We can write it in fractional notations. So 2 is to 3 as 4 is to 6. So we will do cross multiplication. So 2 times 6 and then 4 times 3. So 2 times 6 is equals to 4 times 3. So we can see here the answer is 12, and then on the other side is also 12. So remember, students, the rule: if the product of the extreme is equal to the product of the means, the proportion is true. So if the product of the extremes is not equal to the product of the means, that means the proportion is false. Now there are types or variation of proportion. And one of the variation of proportion is the direct proportion. It is considered a direct proportion when a number is directly proportional to another. When one value increases, so does the other value also increases. Or when one value decreases, it will make the other value decreases too. Like for example, 2 boxes of chocolates cost 180 pesos. How much do 7 boxes of chocolates cost? So we have here, our proportion here is direct proportion because the boxes of chocolates is directly proportional to the cost of the boxes of chocolates. So like example, if the boxes of chocolates increase, so the cost of the boxes of chocolates also will increase. So we are going to write our proportion using fractional notation. Number of box to cost as to number of box to cost. So we have here 2 boxes of chocolates to 180 pesos as to 7 boxes of chocolates to cost. So we have here cost because we do not know how much the 7 boxes of chocolates will cost. So the next thing, we are going to cross multiply. Okay, so 2 times cost, and then 7 times 180. So 2 times cost is 2 cost, then equal to 7 times 180 is 1,260. And then we are going to apply the division property of equality, in which we will divide the two sides by 2 to isolate our variable cost. So 2 cost divided by 2, and then the other side also 1,260 divided by 2. Okay, so we already have our cost isolated. So 1,260 divided by 2 is 630. So it means 7 boxes of chocolates cost 630 pesos. And then we have another also method of solving our proportion using the add notation. So we have here 2 is to 180 as to 7 to x. So our x is our variable because it represents the unknown cost of 7 boxes. Okay, then we're going to multiply the means, and then also multiply the extremes. So 2 times x is 2x equals to 180 times 7, which is 1,260. And then apply the division property of equality by dividing the both sides, the left and the right side, by 2 to isolate our variable x, because this is the one that we are interested to. So divide by 2, and then the other side also divide by 2. Okay, so 2x divided by 2 is x, and then 1,260 divided by 2 is 630. So we come up with the same answers. The 7 boxes of chocolates cost 630 pesos. And then we can check if our proportion is correct. Okay, proportion means equality. So if the both sides are equal, so it means our proportion is correct. So we're going to multiply the means. 180 times 7 equal to 2 times x. So we already have our x is 630. So 2 times 630. 180 times 7 is 1,260. And then the other side, 2 times 630 is also 1,260. So it means our answer is correct because it is equal on both sides. Another variation of proportion is the inverse proportion. The quantities are in inverse proportion. When one value increases, the other value decreases, or when one quantity decreases, the other quantity increases. So take note, in inverse proportion, if one value increases, the other value decreases. Okay, so like example, to finish a certain job in 8 days, 6 workers are needed. If it is required to finish the same job in 2 days advance, how many workers have to work? So we can see here in our problem, 8 days, it needs 6 workers. But since it is required to finish the same job in 2 days advance, let's say 6 days, so how many workers have to work? So the unknown here is the number of workers. So we're going to construct our proportion equation. More men to less men as to more days to less days. And then remember, in proportion, we will multiply our means. So this is our means. Less men times more days. So less men as to more days. And then also multiply the extremes. More men as to less days. So this is an inverse proportion. So if the men are few, so it means it will take more days to finish the job. And then if there are more men, so it means the days to finish the job will be lesser. Okay, so we're going to solve our problem, our proportion. So our more men is unknown, so we will write it as x to less men. Okay, so 6 men. As to more days, 8 days to less days, which is 2 days in advance, 6 days. And then next, we will multiply our means and our extremes. So our extremes is x times 6 is equal to 6x, and then multiply our means, which is 6 times 8. Okay, so 6 times 8 is equal to 48. So 6x equal to 6 times 8. And then apply the division property of equality by dividing both sides by 6 to isolate our variable x. So because we need to know how many workers. Okay, so we divide by 6 on the left side of the equation, and then 48 divided by 6. Okay, so 6x divided by 6 is equal to x, then equals to 48 divided by 6 is equal to 8. So to finish the job in 2 days advance or in 6 days, it requires 8 workers. So this is how to solve the problem in inverse proportion. Now let us proceed to the last part of the variation of proportion, the partitive proportion. It is considered a partitive proportion when a whole part is being divided into many parts according to ratio, or it involves identifying parts of a whole based on the given ratio. Like for example, if Fred wants to give 5,000 pesos to his 4 children in the ratio of 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 for their weekend allowance, how much will each of the 4 children receive? So we can see here it is a partitive proportion because the whole is divided into many parts. So the parts is 1 to 2 to 3 to 4. So this also the parts represents the shares of the children. Okay, so we're going to add the parts or the shares. 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is equals to 10 parts. So the 10 parts is divided into 4 according to the shares. Then 5,000 pesos is divided into 10 parts. Okay, so the share is equal to 500 pesos. So one part is equivalent to 500 pesos. And then how much will each of the 4 children receive? So since we already know that one part is equivalent to 500 pesos, so for the first child, since the first child has only one share, okay, so one share times 500 pesos. So the first child has 500 pesos as an allowance. And then the second child, okay, so has 2 shares and then multiplied by 500 pesos. So 2 times 500, so the second child has 1,000 pesos as a weekly allowance. And then the third child, okay, so the shares is 3, then multiplied by 500, so 3 times 500, so the third child has 1,500 pesos as a weekly allowance. Then the fourth child, okay, so the fourth child has 4 shares and then we multiply by 500 pesos. So the fourth child has 4 times 500 has 2,000 pesos as weekly allowance. And then if you are going to add all these shares, it will be equivalent to 5,000. So 500 plus 1,000 is equal to 1,500 plus 1,500 is equal to 3,000, and then plus the 2,000 is equal to 5,000. So this is how to compute for the partitive proportion. Thank you for watching our tutorial video for proportion. And if you like, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel, Bright Minds Classroom. Have a nice day and bye-bye.